What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Jim Surratt, your host, as always. And we are here, you can't see all of it right now, but we are here at my new facility. So a little bit of context about this. This is something I've been sleeping on for about a month or two right now. Getting everything put together, set up, all the racks built, all that kind of stuff. So for those of you who know me, like really know me, you probably know that having my own place is something that I've wanted for a very long time. And I was finally in a position where I was able to do it, or I was able to at least make it work, at least to start, right? Crazy to talk about even. So I leased out a warehouse here in Sierra Vista, Arizona, where I live. And I was taking a little tour. So over here, so it's about 1,500 square feet total, with about 1,000 or so feet of usable space. We got our sandbags and our sled drag here. So it's gonna be a strength and conditioning gym, so just like what I know how to do. Plyo boxes, I got 2 benches. Right now we got dumbbells 30 through 100, with more to follow as needed. Of course, I got the West Side flag. I got 2 squat racks, barbells, over 500 pounds of weight per rack with squat boxes that are super sturdy. Well, they're sturdy, they're just not square. Deadlift platform. I got chains, chalk, got an SSB, bands, and then that way's my office. And then over here we got our flag wall. So obviously paying respects to not only our country, but police, firefighter, and then just military in general. And then obviously gotta have the first group flag and then the Ranger flag. So, and then over here, built this bench right here. So I've become quite the carpenter, not really. And right here we are building our wall of testimonials, a little wall of fame. So let me take you back here, set you back up. So that is Hammer Strength and Conditioning. We are gonna be a semi-private, group-based environment. You can find us online at www.hammersnc.com or at hammersnc on Instagram. I don't know what in the ever-living hell I'm doing, but I'm excited about it, right? And not that enthusiasm makes up for everything, but it sure as hell makes up for a lot. So yeah, something I've been sitting on for the last couple months, putting it together, but it's something I've wanted to do for a very long time. And like I said, was finally in a position to pull the trigger on it, so to speak, and get it started. So yeah, that's the big news in my life right now. Man, it's kind of even crazy to sit here and talk about, right? Like some people know, and now whoever watches this is gonna know. But I haven't been telling many people. Just kind of, you know, what did Lil Wayne say? Real G's move in silence like lasagna. So just trying to keep it quiet until it's time to make it loud. So for those of you who have known about it and have supported me during the process, I thank you. You're very much appreciated. So yeah. It's hot today. Very, very hot. So again, strength and conditioning based facility, open to any and all who want to come in and train hard, right? Obviously my niche is tactical strength and conditioning. That's what I've done for the last four years or so now, 4 or 5 years. And it's what I know, and it's what I'm really good at. But from a business perspective, right, the more that you niche yourself down, the smaller and smaller your market becomes, right? And so if I want to make money, which is obviously the goal, right? Like, it's not the goal per se, like I'm not trying to get rich off this, but I'm trying to do more than just keep my doors open, right? So there's that, but like the wider your base, essentially, the more opportunities you have for engagement and for business and for memberships. So trying to market to everyone, right? But really want to specialize in tactical communities here in the local Cochise County area. Tucson's not far, about an hour, and there's fire department, police up there. There's sheriff's department, there's police department here, there's a couple fire departments here, and then there's obviously Fort Huachuca, which is the military base here. So there's a lot of opportunities for engagement. It's just finding those opportunities and finding ways to get those opportunities marketed to, right? Finding those markets essentially, which is going to be the huge learning curve for me, figuring out how to do all that, right? I don't know anything about like algorithms and ads and that kind of stuff, but we're learning, so it's going to be an adventure. Get out of here. The one thing I don't like about this location is the goddamn flies, right? There's just so many flies, and there's no AC in the building, which is actually nice because it keeps the cost down. But there's nothing to like circulate the air other than I got a big fan, and then the ventilation through the 2 double doors. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. So one of the things, obviously, with the hammer motif, right? Because I like hammers. So over here we have. So my brother gifted me this hammer for Christmas one year. It's just this big. I don't know how much it weighs. Probably 14 odd pounds or so. It's just this big chunk of ugly ass iron. But then he like did linseed oil and burnt the handle and all that kind of stuff. So it's sort of a, sentimental, symbolic piece. And then over here, we have our PR log, right? So this was an idea that I got of like, I was in a bar one time and one of the games they had was, driving a horseshoe nail into the wood and see how many swings it took you, right? So I thought this would be a super cool idea if I got both horseshoe nails for PRs and then big masonry nails for those who complete our challenges. And then whoever either gets a PR or completes our challenge gets to drive a nail into the wood. And then over time, we can see how many PRs have been set collectively. So I think that's super cool. Just a neat little idea to try to get some more engagement, try to build like the community. Like some places do like a bell. I think the bell is super cool. But I wanted something that, was obviously in line with my theme, right? The hammer theme. I don't know why I like hammers so much, but I think it's the idea that they are a tool that when wielded by one hand could be basically, used to create, and then when used or wielded in the other hand can be used to destroy, right? And so really it's just like this symbolic idea of like you have the choice to do what you want to do. You just got to decide what you want to do and what's going to work best for you. And you can do whatever you want. So yeah, I just wanted to get on real quick. I'd originally kind of thought about just talking about like revisiting the conjugate method. I've talked about that a lot, and it's not really what I want to do today. It's hot, I'm sweaty. I don't really want to sit here and talk for 40 minutes about something we already talked about. So yeah, this is my place, which is super cool, right? I'm very excited about it. Very terrified, absolutely scared shitless. Because then there's the idea of like, well, what if it fails? And it's like, well, if it fails, then you just pick up and you move on, right? Obviously, it's an LLC, so there's protections as far as finances and legalities and that kind of stuff. But yeah, big step. So really, at the end of the day, the reason I started this was not only have I wanted to, but as a contractor, I've kind of gotten tired of being a contractor. Kind of gotten tired of like working for somebody else or working under somebody else, right? And while the contract life that I've experienced is pretty stable, right? For those of you who don't know, so I do H2F, so holistic health and fitness, with the conventional army down here in Sierra Vista at Fort Huachuca. And then again, for those of you who don't know, they recently cut, at least the Army did, cut their athletic trainer contracts. So we are without athletic trainers now. But the Army is driving towards a performance-driven model or performance-based model. So I think they're actually looking to hire additional strength and conditioning coaches, which I think on one hand is really good because it, obviously displays or demonstrates job security for our position or for our role, but also it's going to saturate the market. And not that we are a market, a competitive market here within H2F, but our salaries are not commensurate with experience, which is everywhere, right? You don't get paid. Very rarely do we get paid enough for what we know and what we do and what the companies want from us, right? Based on qualifications and experience. And it's a long story I don't really want to go into, but I did some research on salaries and income for other locations with my position. And I realized that, and again, I absolutely factor in cost of living, locality pay, all that kind of stuff. But my salary is very much on the low end of what they offer as a company. And kind of done with it. I haven't left my job. I'm not in a position to just completely walk away from that steady income. But it is definitely something that is on my mind. So that is a possibility in the future, maybe not the near future, but the future nonetheless. So yeah, I was kind of tired of being under somebody's thumb and being like told, this is how much you're gonna make. No questions asked, no negotiations, nothing. And like I said, I'm not in this to make hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, if that happens, fantastic. I'm not going to be mad at it. I just want a place where I can do what I want to do, where I can train personally, where I can train, and where I can train people the way that I know that I can, and not be bound by the Army's rules or the contract's rules, all that kind of stuff. Just do things the way I want to do stuff. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for checking in. I have no promises of being more consistent, especially with this going on now. I would love to get footage in here as people start coming in, as we start getting memberships and all that kind of stuff. But more to follow on that. So anyway, thanks for checking in. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Again, you can find us on Instagram at HammerSNC or our website at www.hammersnc.com. And as always, don't waste the pain.